for me, what makes a good villain is someone that you either love to hate or you hate
that
to love.
you love him. Yeah.
Joffrey.
Oh.
Joffrey was a great villain. Like,
Yeah.
from the second he's on the screen, I wanted him to die. He's just a prick. He's just an entitled prick. He knows he can get away with it. No, it's true though, isn't it? The way he's like, mate, the actor, the way he just moves around, and he just does stuff because he can. But it's just like, you just wanted to do something to him through the screen. Like, that, no, but it's true, isn't it?
You wanted to get that sword and smack him.
Yeah, man, get my lightsaber out.
I really think Vegeta is a great villain for the change of heart that he has, but he's still reluctant. So he's got a change of heart because he's only looking in one direction, which is who's the strongest, how can I get stronger? And it ends up, for me, what happens is like, he sees the difference between the strength that comes with I've got to be the best and the strength that comes with love. And then you can't really have love just like singularly. It is with everyone.
That's true.
Like you can have a certain amount of love with you, oh yeah, I'm trying to get stronger. But for what? Goku's trying to get stronger to save the whole world. What's up, ladies and gents? Welcome back to welcome forward to another episode of Nerd Life Coaches. I'm Sachin, sporting quite the villainous beard today because it's fitting for the topic.
Yeah, we're going to be hitting up our top villains character breakdowns.
You didn't introduce yourself.
Part 1. I'll do that, don't worry. I'll have the thing here, innit? Right here, we'll put the thing right there.
The thing, yeah? Can I have my thing here too? All right, I want to kick things off in emphatic fashion. Wait, are we doing like catch up first? Let's talk about what's been happening.
Yeah, let's talk about. We're going to get into the villains, so let's.
I'm like super gassed.
Yeah, I am as well. Actually, this is one of your favourite topics. So
hold on, I'm sporting quite the relevant sock game today, ladies and chefs.
Oof.
How about that?
Wow, that's a good one.
Yeah.
What's been happening this week? So the eagle-eyed of you will notice two things. Number one, Sachin is sporting the villainous look. And number two, we'll leave you to decipher for yourselves.
Yeah, we'll let you see how good you are with being eagle-eyed and eye for detailed, which I am not. If setting up this setup is anything to judge by.
Yeah, it's more technicals though than specific details.
True. What's been going on this week? Quite a lot. I got kicked in the leg a bunch of times yesterday, and I've been crying about it all day. That's about it from my end. Fucking hell.
No, you've been up to lots this week. What about you had your mate come round to do your image consultancy?
So I had a session with a stylist. I've been wanting to change my beard up for a while since Alex said something funny to me. You said I complained one day, right? The barber like did a too lower angle on my beard, and I was every time I go to the barber shop lately, I find something to be annoyed about.
Yeah.
And you said, oh, it shows off more of your face. I was like, all right. I'll take that one. Maybe I want to show even more of it. So yeah. I'll shave it all off. Which is a nice change of pace.
I think you should just go for the tash. Like old school villain. You know, like old school villain.
It's got to be like pencil thin though.
Yeah. Proper like black and white villain. Kind of, you know those ones. Pinstripe suit.
I was just about to say that. Yeah, that was one thing. I had a really good time with Phil, the image consultant, because he's really, you can tell he's good at, not just good at what he does, he's great at what he does. So that was fun. I can't even remember, it's been such a full week. We both went to see Ankush on Monday.
Yeah, we had a joint coaching session. Yeah, that was on Monday.
That feels like it was like 2 weeks ago.
That does, isn't it? That's actually surprising because my week's been fairly empty in comparison. But yeah, that was Monday. That's crazy. That was a fascinating session. We got into talking about like living our commitments basically, and like I think the thing that I really took away from it was like having the commitments is, and it sounds so basic when you say it, and it really annoys me every time I think about this, but having the commitments is one thing, living into them is an entirely different thing, and it's the living into them where most of the work is done. And I always say to people actually, like, yeah, you can come to the coaching sessions, that's the easy part, but what are you doing between our sessions when we work together? That's the hard part, because that's when you've actually got to go out there and apply this stuff that we're talking about. You know, it's not even about the application, because sometimes it's just about the implication. But yeah, no, that was a fascinating session. It's really been in the back of my mind
Oh shit! That reminds me. Monday is when we found the apartment.
Oh, of course, yeah.
I found my new apartment. We're gonna be shooting some. By the time this comes out, I would have already been there.
Yeah.
Wow, sick. Yeah, that was just this week, and I got accepted today.
Yeah, that was a big thing this week.
Yeah.
That's gonna be cool because that's like, yeah. Hopefully there's a cool space in the building that we're eyeing up for some potential filming stuff, but we'll have to see how it goes down once you're in and settled.
And we'll be hosting the first ever Lamron social.
Yeah. Yeah.
That could even be open invite. I might just put it on my Instagram. Yo, come through.
Listeners/followers of this podcast invited.
By the time this comes out, we'll probably do the second one, innit?
Or third or fourth, depends.
What else happened this week? You've been playing a lot of Fallen Order.
Oh man, we're gonna get onto reviewing that game at some point because there's been some good learnings. And so here's me. Like I was having this conversation with Sachin the other day. Right, here's me. When it comes to video games, I just want to play the game. Like I'm here for a bit of challenge. I want to play the game. I want to enjoy it. I want to beat up some bad guys. I want to fight the bosses, and I want to get through the storyline. To me, it's like watching a movie, but I'm in the movie, innit? Whereas you, on the other hand, you're very much the opposite of me. You're all about like the game's designed in a specific way. You have to play it in that way.
I like both. Okay, story is very important to me. I don't really play non-story driven games.
No, but I'm saying like the way you play the game versus how I play the game is very different, innit?
Yeah.
I'm quite happy to just coast through the game, do my bit, have a little challenge here and there. Whereas you're more like I'll play on like the normal difficulty and you'll play on like hard or extra hard because you want the extra like challenge of like, you know, actually, what did you say to me? You said like play the game for how it's designed or something like that.
Yeah. Like, so Fallen Order is designed for you to learn how to be a Jedi.
Yeah.
It's not designed for you to just like slice through everyone and run from checkpoint to checkpoint. That would be boring.
I wanna live my life like I'm Star Wars Kid. You remember Star Wars Kid, the meme?
Okay, I hear that. And the reason I think Fallen Order is such a great game is because it's like, yes, you've got all these great Jedi tools at your disposal. You got a lightsaber, you got force pull, slow push, all of that, and there's still loads of challenges. You gotta, like that boss fight you were stuck on, right? By the way, I don't really get to see Alex pissed off very often, and this is like, I wish I'd recorded that, man. That was so funny.
Made some good B-roll for the episode.
Man, I was dying. I was having.
There was a lot of profanities coming out of my mouth, and not a lot of it was politically correct.
You spent about an hour stuck on this boss fight, right? And I tried once and I beat it. Now, obviously, I played the game already. Yeah? Like it's not about. I'm not some god at video games. I'm very good at a lot of games, but because I played a lot in my time. However, this particular boss fight is teaching the player to not be, number one, don't be intimidated by someone who does lots of damage. Number two, slow down enough to learn the patterns of behavior that this boss is throwing at you. And number three, most importantly, don't get greedy with trying to smash the buttons and get as much health down as possible. I love that boss fight, man. When you play it on the harder difficulty, it lasts like twice as long.
I bet. Well, to be fair, in fairness, I took on board what I learned from that, and I've been implementing it. And
you're not using the lock-on anymore, are you?
Not using the lock-on as much. And I defeated the next boss in fairly quick time. It was for only 3 attempts versus 25 against that dumb bitch. Sorry.
So Fallen Order's been good. Oh, we both got PlayStation Premium subscription.
Oh, hey, we've got a lot of games that we're going to be. We're going to change the name of this channel to Video Game Nerd Coaching Reviews or something because we've got a lot of video games that we need to get through.
Yeah, so we're going to be playing Final Fantasy VII Remake, Miles Morales, Spider-Man Miles Morales. You're going to play Ghost of Tsushima.
Yeah, and God of War.
What else have we got?
Oh man, there's loads.
There's a bunch of
I downloaded a load to my... So for those of you who don't know, PlayStation Premium is like... It's PlayStation Plus, which is what allows you to play online. Plus. No. If we get to the premium subscription of the PlayStation Plus, you get access to, what is it? Like an online catalogue of games,
like
basically.
100 odd games.
You can download them or you can stream them. Or you can buy normal, regular games at a discounted price, I think. So we were like, it's like 100 quid a year or something. We're like, yeah, why not?
It works out
Like,
to like less than 10 quid a month.
well, the way that I see it, if you bought all of the games that you're going to play, it's going to be more than 100 quid. So, like, The Last of Us.
Oh yeah, I'm playing that right now.
Because
Scary.
oh man, that's a great game. So we're going to be having a lot more video game reviews.
You need to play God of War 3 and then 4 and then play Ragnarok. By the time by the time you get round to Ragnarok, after all those other games, it'll be cheaper.
Yeah, my girlfriend's gonna hate me. You know, I'm gonna be playing a lot.
Yeah, that's right. Alex has got a girlfriend. Ladies, back up, and men, and men who are interested, back up.
Jeez, it's gonna be fun. But yeah, nah, I'm looking forward to it because there's a lot of games that I missed. Because I went through a period of I didn't have a PlayStation 3. I just was like, at that point, I wasn't really playing a lot of video games because I just started working. I was socialising a bit more. And then I bought a PlayStation 4 around 10 years ago when one of the Call of Duties came out. And me and my mates I think it was Modern Warfare, the first one.
Or it might have been Ghost. Oh no, that was 14,
I think it was Modern Warfare, the first one. And we hammered it, the online. It was like just before Christmas. And for that 2 weeks of Christmas, we were online all the time. Like, it was sick. And then I didn't really play it anymore. So I had like a 8-year window, let's say, where I didn't play any games until lockdown when I got back into playing PlayStation. So I've got 8 years worth of good games to catch up on. The only game I played in that whole time was The Last of Us. And that was epic. That's epic.
Ghost of Tsushima is one of the best games I've ever played.
Yeah, I've seen you play that. That's going to be next. When I complete Fallen Order, we're going on to...
You ain't got long. It's February 13th. It's January 13th. So I'm moving out in 4 weeks.
I'm on a deadline because I'm playing it on Sachin's PlayStation because it's before we got our premium subscriptions, and he's got the disc and it's on his PlayStation. So I've got to I've got to really get through that game. I think I must be near the end though.
Clock's ticking.
Don't give me that. But yeah, that's probably been the highlight. Forget your apartment and your image consoles and PlayStation Premium.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
Oh, what a life.
I tried to call the tattoo guy today, Wayne, to get my forearm sorted out, but that would have been a highlight if I did.
But you didn't, so it's not?
No.
Okay. Just clearing up.
What else has been happening? Oh, I've been doing a bunch of laser sessions. That's been fun. I've got a bunch of people really excited for the next intensive. And I feel like there's something we're forgetting, but
Spine Plus. Shout out Adele.
Oh yeah.
We both went to see what was it? Are they back specialists or
osteo
physio type
like
place? Literally 5 minutes from where we live, and we both went in the past week, and oh my god, I feel so good for it.
Yeah, my knee feels a lot better.
When I came out of there, I genuinely felt like my body was floating on clouds because she stretched me, she pulled me, she cracked me, it was good times. So shout out Adele because I'm going to be going regularly for some serious checkups.
She was bringing the motherfucking pain with me, man.
Was she?
Yeah, she was really getting in there. But speaking of pain, what a nice segue.
Oh, convenient.
I want to get a pain action figure.
Yeah, I was thinking I want to get something Naruto as well, but I'm not. When I get my office decked out, I'm gonna have a lot of stuff to be buying. A lot.
Yeah, you definitely.
Kit it out.
I was wearing pain socks yesterday. Today I'm wearing Vegeta.
Oh, we were gonna wear our Akatsuki cloaks.
A bit late now.
Yeah, it's a bit late. We're wired up and all that.
But moving nicely on to pain, bro. Okay, so villain talk, right? Every anime I watch, most of the games I play, most of the movies I watch, I'm gonna be rooting for the villain. Except in Game of Thrones. The Night King was just...
do you know what, man? We'll come to him, but like... it's like, I feel like they missed the piece out.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Like, do you know what I mean? They were gearing up. All I wanted was give me a good story about why this guy's a dick. And then I'm in.
Yeah.
I'll probably, in some kit, like you said, I'll probably want to root for him at some point. But then I was just like, I have no reason to. You haven't given me a reason to.
He doesn't even have a reason to be like killing people.
Yeah.
Really, he doesn't like. You don't know much about him.
Although I did hear this fascinating fan theory that the story of Game of Thrones and the Night King and Winter is Coming and all of that is actually about global warming.
Yeah.
Metaphor.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Or capitalism, one of the two.
Well, they both make sense.
Or Brexit was the other one I read at the time. That was quite funny.
I don't understand all of that. But the global warming one makes sense. Yeah. It's like nature coming to sort you out.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Night... Okay, we'll just start with the Night King and come on to Pain in a minute. The Night King, my problem with that... Yes, villain-wise, he's scary. He's like basically invincible. All of that, etc. Except for Valyrian Steel. Mm-hmm. Okay, great. But massive like... But here, what do you give me to care about? He used to be a human, and then these kids put the fucking glass in him, and now he's like on the warpath just randomly. Like there's no rhyme or reason.
There's no reason behind his thing. But here's the thing, and the reason that I kind of like him is because one of the best scenes in the whole show is that scene where Jon Snow and them lot are all fighting them in that river town. Hardhome, and they get on the boats, and then he just raises all. He's looking Jon Snow dead in the eye.
Yeah.
I was like,
ooh. That was one of my favorite episodes. That was the last episode of season 5, right?
Something like that, yeah.
So
and then it went off the rails.
That battle, like where there's undead giants, there's all of that stuff going on. It makes it as a viewer, I was like, holy shit! Like, what are they gonna do? Can't do shit against this guy.
Yeah.
And all of that terror and dread just flopped.
Yeah.
So whatever.
So all right, so that's a great example. Because the reason we're doing this, right, is because there's a lot of villains that are, that we like, right? Here's a question for you: what makes a good villain?
Well,
generally speaking,
they have to be relatable. So, like, for example, one of my favorite villains of all time is Madara Uchiha. Mm-hmm. It's relatable. He like, if you were at war with some other rival clan, and you're fighting each other all the time, you'd have similar feelings to him. Like, all he wants to do is eradicate war from the planet. He lost his younger brother, his older brother, all the brothers that he's had, all the people in his clan, everyone's dead. And he's pissed. So he's going to go to any extent of the earth to try and get rid of that. Let's take it down a peg. What's it called? Tywin Lannister. A great villain.
Yeah.
Relatable. I don't have all the money in the world. Apparently he does. And he's pissed off. Look at his kids are like basically wasting his legacy.
Yeah.
2 of them are fucking each other. Yeah. The other one's a drunken whoremonger, and he's pissed.
Yeah.
And like, I get why he's pissed off. So him acting out of angry ways makes total sense to me. I personally wouldn't have those views.
And he lost the love of his life, and one of his children was born, so he's got anger about that as well.
And he's pissed off with the kid looking at him like, you killed my wife, etc., etc. Like, it's understandable, and it maybe not relatable in the sense that I would have those attitudes, but it's understandable, right?
Yeah.
What makes a terrible villain is what happened with Daenerys.
Yeah, let's just skip that, man, because they basically did that with a story.
Okay, okay, let's look at Bane, for example, right?
Yeah.
Bane is a mediocre villain to me because I don't really understand everything that's going on with him.
Yeah.
And he's not articulate. He comes out with some great lines.
Yeah.
In the animated series, The Dark Knight Rises, not so much, but
yeah, he's a great villain for what he is, not for who he is. Do you see what I mean? It's like, because he looks fearsome. He's quite iconic in terms of the way he looks. He's strong. He can, fuck up a lot of shit. But he doesn't. It's not the who he is. It's because he's just a powerful dude.
So that makes a good villain, right?
Yeah.
The Joker is a great villain.
I'll tell you, and we'll come on to him in a sec, because I want to break that down properly, as well as a few others. For me, what makes a good villain is someone that you either love to hate, or you hate to love.
You love him, yeah.
Joffrey.
Oh.
Joffrey was a great villain. From the second he's on the screen, I wanted him to die. He's just a prick. He's just an entitled prick. He knows he can get away with it. No, it's true though, isn't it? The way he's the actor, the way he just moves around, and he just does stuff because he can. But it's just like, you just wanted to do something to him through the screen. No, but it's true, innit?
He wanted to get that sword and smack him.
Yeah,
with
man,
it.
get my lightsaber out. But that's what makes a great villain, isn't it? You either love to hate them or you hate to love them. And a lot of the villains the ones that are relatable, the ones that you hate to love. And a lot of the really well written, just bad guy dicks are the ones that you love to hate, like Joffrey. And I think that those two things, you get those two things right, either or, you've got an A-class villain on your hands.
You see, Pain for me was like, I loved it through and through. I loved how Pain was getting down. Because like, he's the leader of the Akatsuki, which is like 10, 13 ninja or something that are all like incredible on their own, and he's leading them. And he's like, yeah, you lot do what I say. And he's got like 6 different puppets that or not even puppets, but like bodies that he uses. So his abilities are great. He's really strong. He's scary. He's like mysterious as well, because in the beginning you don't know who the hell he is, and he's just got those Rinnegan eyes.
Yeah.
Then on top of that, he's got an amazing story about how he became that way. It started off with Yahiko getting killed, but not even like killed. He killed himself. He turns over like he's got the blade in his hand, and Yahiko runs into it and is like, take care of everything that I told you to. So this is like a massive responsibility on him, and he's pissed. And like it's so relatable, because I think a lot of us have had flavors of that.
Yeah, and the other thing that I really liked about it was like the whole what is it? The rain.
Village hidden in the rain.
Village hidden in the rain. Thank you. I get my words muddled up. The whole story with that, he's like, this has basically been a battleground for as long as time has existed. Our lands have always been the like common place where war happens. So we've lost everything. We've always lost people. Our land's always ravished, and live in poverty. And he's like, his whole thing is like, I want peace in the world so that people can avoid living like this. But everyone, in his opinion, needs to experience that pain, hence the name, of the loss, of the anger, of the sadness, of the worry, of what the death, whatever, the grief, to then be like, okay, cool, I think we should stop the war and just return to like not hating each other and causing all of this pain across the world. And that's epic, man. That's beautiful poetry, because it's like, think about, you talk about relatable, think about the pain that we've lived through internally in our lives. And because of that pain, we're here today doing what we do in the world.
And we have a strong aversion to drama, or like, maybe not me with violence, and considering what I'm doing. Okay, fighting and violence, 2 different things. Violence is hurting people, fighting is discipline and all that, whatever. However, Pain for me is taking a stand for like the hard stuff that we go through is what unifies us. Is what gets rid of the illusion of separation. As if I had 1,000 conversations with 1,000 different people, we could bond on what broke us more than we could bond on what what we love. I love a lot of things. A lot of people don't like the stuff that I love. I'm a big fan of Mortal Kombat. A lot of people are like, what's this stupid bullshit, punching each other? I don't care. And then I could talk to someone about, tell me your lowest moments. I'm sure I could relate with the feelings. So I think Pain for me is such a strong villain, because there's so much truth, capital T truth, in where he's coming from. And that to me, that's genius writing. What was the other one? Joker. Let's come back to Joker.
Oh, Joker, yeah, let's go
right.
with it, man.
So, great villain. Why do you think?
Mate, first of all, when I think of the Joker, I think of Dark Knight series, straight off the bat. Like, don't get me wrong, there's been great Jokers in the past, but I just think of that because I think it's been the best depiction of him for like the pure insanity, the just like he's not all there and you don't know what he's gonna do, and that's why I like him, because it's like I feel like he's a character that's unpredictable. Even in that film, right, the Dark Knight. No, is it Dark? Yeah, it's Dark Knight. It's like 3 movies. I always forget that there's like the bit after, because they catch him in it, and then there's the bit where he like does the thing with the boats, and to me it feels like another movie, and I think it's just like the way that you just know that he's plotting something, and he's smart with it. He's one step ahead. he's planning for things that haven't happened yet, knowing that they're going to happen, to then like have this thing happen, to then, and it's just smart writing combined with someone who is just, you know, not all there. And I think the story in the Dark Knight series is with the scars is it his mother or his father or one of his parents, I think, isn't it, like cut his face to be like, you need to be happy more. So
let's put a smile on that face.
Why so serious?
Why so serious?
And it's just like stuff like that. It's like, I don't know, man. I just find that it's again, he's someone that you love to hate, but you're also kind of rooting for him because he's like,
so for me, I love that he's, to me, it's more like Batman is order and the Joker is chaos, but one cannot exist without the other.
Yeah.
And so Batman's really cleaned up the city and all the criminals are pissed, and the Joker's come about like, I'll solve that problem for you. And it's like, in society, if let's say you took all drugs off the streets, so no one can buy weed, heroin, coke, Mandy, anything. You can't buy shit. The most dangerous drug will still be in stores, alcohol, but let's not talk about that today. If you took all of the illegal drugs off the streets, a new problem would be created.
Yeah, it's true.
And it's showing us something about ourselves, like the Joker, right? To me, it's showing me something about me. I love the line that he says. He says, someone asked him, why are you doing all of this? Like, why are you doing all these bad things? He goes, I'm kind of like a dog chasing a car. I wouldn't know what to do with it even if I caught it.
Yeah.
But I'm enjoying the chase. I don't think he says I'm enjoying the chase. But that's, to me, it's implied in what he says. And I feel like that. I'm not doing bad things. I'm doing the opposite.
Yeah.
But I feel like, okay, once I've made my movies, once I've made my anime, once I've done all these, I don't know what I'm going to do with them.
Yeah.
I'll enjoy them. Yeah, they'll be out in the world, but there'll always be something else.
Yeah.
And it doesn't, what I love about the Joker and why I find him so relatable, there doesn't need to be a reason to do extraordinary things. It's just to go do them, to be in the process of doing them.
Have you seen the Joker, the movie, the one with thingy?
Joaquin Phoenix.
Yeah, man, that's.
So here, let's point something out. We've got to do a movie breakdown of that. Yeah.
Yeah,
because
we have to.
There's a very important part of this movie which a lot of people don't seem to understand. Are you ready for it? The Joker goes into that chick's office and she says something about his thoughts. And he goes, all I have are negative thoughts. Now I screenshotted it one time and I crossed out negative. All I have is thoughts. They're not positive or negative until we come along with our subjective thinking and label them. So they're trying to treat him for something that is a misunderstanding. It's not actually an illness. He got a big misunderstanding about something going on, like the nature of what's going through his head. And if he had received the right treatment, which would be, let's change your relationship to thinking instead of you like looking at the individual thoughts, the contents of them, he might not have become that way. But this, unfortunately, a lot of us, like when we go through a lot of trauma or like go through any particular hard times, or if we're living out of alignment with our truth, it becomes compounded over years, and then you might start wanting to hurt people. You might start hurting yourself. I've been in both of those shoes. Like I wasn't really hurting people.
Yeah, and it's true, because it's like when you see that, right? He feels like his only way out is to act on the thoughts. It's kind of like the only way for me to stop resisting them is to just act on them. And he does, I think he stabs up his mate or whatever, and he ends up shooting the Robert De Niro. I don't know what his character was called. And it's just like he's just like, I'm having these thoughts, so if I can't do anything about them, I might as well just act on them, kind of thing. And it's like there's a big danger in that, because if we acted out on all of our thoughts all of the time, we would, I don't know, be doing all sorts of wild stuff. And it's like, if we understand the nature of thought, like you said, and see that thoughts are just thoughts, we're the ones who give them the subjective meaning, then we see that actually maybe I don't have to act out on that, because that's the freedom, knowing that you don't have to act on the thought, that you don't have to do anything with the thought. And it's like, if that character, well, that one specifically, but I'm sure there's a bunch more, knew that and had that as an understanding, I mean, the movie wouldn't be as good, but as a person, he'd probably be much more satisfied in his life.
Yeah, and I think, again, it comes back to relatable, right? The Joker is a very relatable character. He's not because he's batshit crazy and like we're all like that, and we are. Really, like, we all have similar thoughts. We all have crazy thoughts from time to time, and the difference is we're not acting on them. But he's a living representation of what it would be like if we did. You know, don't like someone, shoot them on live air, live TV, and just like talk about, like, celebrate it. You know, like there's parts of us that are being shown to us by these archetypes.
And I think the other important message in that movie is like, what would happen if as a people we started trying to understand people who we point at and say that person's crazy. If we started to try and understand them on a human level, what's going on for you that is creating the way that you're acting, behaving, you know, the way that you're buying into thoughts, because that's basically it. Because his whole story in that movie is because, well, not the whole story, but because they took the mick out of him on the TV show, right? He stood up in the audience and couldn't get his words out, and he was all like shy. And
when he was doing stand up.
Yeah. No, in the audience of the show. Do you remember he stands up? He submits the video. They take the piss out of the video, and then he stands up in the audience. I think it's that way around, and they're like laughing at him and stuff. And it's like they're taking the piss out of someone who, you know, quite clearly needs help. Yet they're pointing the finger at him and laughing at him. So it's like, it's a bit of an extreme example to point it out like that. But like what I was getting from it is like, if we as a people, as a society, took time to understand people who were struggling with certain things or trying to overcome stuff or had been through some kind of trauma or whatever, we'd be in a very different space, you know, rather than just pointing the finger and be like, oh, that person's like this or that person's like that. You know, it's taken away from from humanizing each other. It's doing the opposite.
This is why so many people rally to Joker's cause, because they're fed up of the rich like looking down at them. And again, it's like he's relatable because he's representing the downtrodden in society. And these problems can be avoided if, you know, like, what's that phrase liberals say all the time, check your privilege or some shit.
Yeah.
I don't really understand it, but my understanding of it in this context is like, if you're privileged, and I think everyone's got some kind of privilege, like, it's not about sell all your stuff and like go and live on the street. It's just more like extend loving understanding and kindness to these people and give them time of day to listen to them. It's not a tall ask.
Yeah.
Another villain. I don't know if we're going to leave the Joker there.
Yeah, I think we are.
We got to do it. We got to do the movie.
We'll watch that because that's a sick film. I need to watch that again, man. It's a great film.
Apocalypse, who I've got standing over there. Apocalypse was one of the first, if not the first, mutant, and he was like born in Egyptian times, and like he was one of the slaves, and then like his DNA mutated, and then like he became like the mutant that he's like wanting to exterminate the human race, and he wants mutants to like he wants them to rule, and then he even turns on them, and he's like, right, fuck everyone now. Him, Galactus, and Thanos. We'll talk about Thanos in a bit. But like these three people, for me, they're like the ultimate villains in the Marvel universe. Like Galactus, he's eating planets. You're gonna get more, and it's not even an evil thing to him. He's just doing what he needs to do to survive.
Yeah.
That's it. You know, then like Apocalypse for me is funny because he's got the most extraordinary powers. He can manipulate matter, time, space, anything. Like he can do whatever he wants all the time. And he's still on the warpath. He's still not satisfied. I think it's so relatable. If you want a living embodiment of when I get here, I'll feel this. When I get to this point where I have everything, I'll be happy. If you want the living embodiment of why that's not fucking true, Apocalypse.
Yeah.
Because he's got everything. He's all powerful, he's all knowing, he's all seeing, all that shit. and he's still pissed.
Oof, yeah. When you're in that place where you're kind of trying to like do the when thing, like you're never satisfied. You know, there's that saying, isn't it? If you're always searching for perfection, you'll never be satisfied or something like that. Probably butchered that as normal, but we'll roll with it. And that's kind of what I get from what you're saying that he represents, is like that.
There's that, and there's also like when he sees the X-Men, yeah, he's always got beef with them, innit? And he's like, oh, you like, he's pissed off with them because they're standing up for humans, right? Apocalypse is like, okay, look, you lot are stupid. The humans have tried to kill you a bunch of times. They've showed you that you don't belong with them, and fuck you. And you lot are like, oh, but the humans. Like, he's annoyed with them. He's like, why are you doing that? And it's funny because, like, I relate to that a lot. People will stand up for things that oppress them, and I'll get pissed off and be like, why are you doing that? Why are you standing up for the fact that like certain things are legal?
Yeah.
Gambling is not a good thing to be legal. Like going into these fucking betting shops. It's not good for you. In America, I don't know what you would call betting shops, but whatever. Like you go into this place, like a small casino, you know, like not a big one, but it's like you can play on the machines and shit. That's how I feel like Apocalypse sometimes. I'm like, I want to eradicate those things. Why are you standing up for them? They're oppressing you, literally, like they're stopping you from doing things. They're taking you away from your family and they're ruining your life. And you're saying, no, but we still want to do it. That's a slight aside because I've got very extreme views on a lot of things, like Apocalypse. Yeah. Galactus, again, to go back to it. Look, he's got Silver Surfer, right? And he fucks with Silver Surfer so badly. He's like, all right, cool. I'll spare your planet if you just do all of this for me. Go find me some place to like feed off. And the Silver, so he wipes his memory, so he forgets that he made the commitment that he's gonna find planets with no life on them. And so remember the series?
Yeah. We need to review that.
Blood.
That's a great series.
Oh, that's one of my favorite things ever. Because Silver Surfer is like all powerful as well to an extent. He's got that cosmic power and all that, but he's being manipulated. And it's like Galactus could be called capitalism, and all of us who are participating in capitalism can be either before he gets his memory, Silver Surfer gets his memories back, or after. Yeah. I feel like we're doing it in the after realm, you know, but before, when we were just working jobs or like trying to get money in whatever way, we weren't doing anything illegal. Like, it made it sound bad, didn't it? Yeah. You know, we were just being part of that machine.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's what it is. And it's like, you know, you forget why you're doing those things. And like Silver Surfer, like you said, he forgot. I don't do a full breakdown now, but he forgot like what he was doing for Galactus and why, and he was just doing it. And he was just caught up in it. And Galactus is just like, yeah, I need to survive. Like it's survival, but you could also look at it from a point of greed. It's greed. Give me more. I need the next planet. And it's like, yeah, you're surviving, but at what cost? How many millions of people are dying because you're eating their planet? It's all good for you, bro. What about them?
It's a great analogy for business, right? Yeah. Like, people are wanting to put food on their table, but at what cost? Yeah. You know, like one of my mentors, Wes Watson, I think he's doing great things for the planet. I wouldn't say at what cost, but like, there is an element of that in there for me.
Well, it's, oh man, I have conversations with people, like, not always exactly this is exact situation, and this is a kind of amalgamation of a few conversations I've had, but people who are like working full time, doing a business part time, sleeping little, and spending a little bit of time with their loved ones. At what cost?
Yeah, it defeats the point.
You're gonna, at some point, you're either gonna get burnt out, your loved ones are gonna get pissed off because you're not spending enough time with them, or your job's gonna get pissed off because you're not doing your job properly, or your health's seriously gonna depreciate because you're not sleeping properly. So it's all good and well, like, and this is part of my problem with hustle culture, is like, yeah, hustle, grind. It's all good and well on paper talking about it, but when you actually live it, how sustainable is it? What's the cost? Like, some people, their cost is their health. Yeah. Their cost is their mindset, their mental health. You know, and it's like, it's I think that's the big thing, man. And it's like, you know, the that at what cost is a good thing, and that for me that's what Galactus is representing. It's like, yeah, cool, you're like taking care of you, but at what cost to everything and everyone else? You know, if you're not sleeping much as a human and you're grumpy all the time, you're probably not being the best version of you with your loved ones. You're probably not seeing your friends that often. Do you know what I mean? It's like, there's a lot of things that come as the cost, and I'm doing it like that on purpose.
Thanos.
Oh,
Take it away.
oh man, I could go on Thanos all day. How long we got? I can go on Thanos all day, but like for me, right, Thanos, what does he represent? He represents the big purple bad guy in the sky that you're scared of, right? That's one thing, but we'll come back to that. But what it really represents, right? Look at him, look at what he's trying to do, right? I want to bring balance to the universe. The universe is not in balance. There's too many people for the resources that we have, is his whole thing, right? So he's got this bright idea because his planet, I can't remember what his planet was called, gets basically decimated because the planet can't survive with the amount of people, so the planet basically dies and then all the people die. So he's like, I want to avoid this, and my idea is that basically mass genocide. I'm gonna kill half of the population, and his whole thing is like, no, it's random. We're gonna just kill half the people, and it's random choice at which half of the people on each planet we're gonna do, and we're gonna go around and do it one by one. Then he comes across the Infinity Stones, and he wants to collect them all in his little fancy gauntlet, and in a snap of his finger, he can eradicate life, right? So the reason I love Thanos, right, and the reason that there's the whole like, oh, Thanos was right thing that you see going around online. The reason
I don't see
you never seen that. The reason I think he was right is because he's onto something. There's imbalance in the universe, right? But mass genocide is not the way to solve it, right? If he was, look at the thought. The thought is, I want to do something about this, right? And bring balance back to the universe. His idea is, I'm going to kill half the people. It's, okay, not great. If you've got all of those powers and Infinity Stones, and you can give more life to the resources, the natural resources, food, water, whatever, so people can eat, live well, why not do that to bring the planet back into balance? And to me, it's about an act of like, yeah, things are great when they're balanced. However, this is a great one. Even when things are unbalanced, they're still naturally balanced. Like if you look at an old set of weighing scales, right? Say you have 5 kilos on one side and 2.5 kilos on the other side. And I say, right, Sachin, there's a bunch of weights here. I want you to balance out these scales. What are you going to do?
Add some to this side.
Yeah, to create it as balance, right? But you're still adding more stuff to it, right? You're still adding stuff to the scales. If you took the weights off, scales return to balance, right? So to me, it's like there's always a natural order of balance, even when things look unbalanced. Because with scales, even when they're unbalanced because of the weights, second you remove the weights, they're balanced again. So it's about finding the balance within to then like see that there is balance across the board. But Thanos is just like, oh yeah, do you know what? I'm just gonna mass genocide everyone and just kill half the universe in an instant. And I get it, but then there's you haven't seen What If, have you?
I watched one episode. I was like, ugh.
The animation is not great, but some of the stories are wicked. Yeah, there's an episode where it's what if T'Challa was Star-Lord, so they pick up young T'Challa instead of young Quinn, and T'Challa's all like peace and loving and, you know, Zen and all this, and he brings Thanos on board to. They're looking for the embers of what's it called? Embers of Genesis, which is basically like a special I don't know what you call it, substance that can basically give life to plants and stuff in an instant and bring planets back to life through natural resources. And it doesn't happen on camera; it happens off screen. But T'Challa has a conversation with Thanos and changes his mind about the mass genocide thing to help bring balance back through a more let's say loving way. And it's like just that change in thought, same idea, seeing it from the other side, different change, like the change in thought creates a different outcome. And I think like the whole thing with Thanos is like he's the living embodiment of having a massive misunderstanding about, you know, what you can do about stuff. Because if you just see things from one way, it's going to look like that. If you take the chance to look at it from another way, it could also look like that.
So it seems like that's a common theme with the villains. It's like they just have massive misunderstandings.
But pretty much
all of them.
Yeah.
And heroes, I mean, they're seeing a lot of things clearly, but look at the difference, right? The villains hang out with other villains, the heroes hang out with other heroes. They still have conflict, but the heroes are having conflict over like what's right and wrong. The villains are having conflict over greed.
Yeah.
Generally speaking.
Yeah.
Here's another one. Shao Kahn, Mortal Kombat. Yes, it wouldn't be a fucking episode if we didn't talk about Mortal Kombat. You know what? I'll dedicate a large portion of my life to talking about Mortal Kombat because I think it's important. And I already do. I talk to a lot of my clients about Mortal Kombat. Anyway, I think Shao Kahn is a great villain because he's just a dick. He's just a fucking... There's no other better way to say it. He's just being a dick. He doesn't even... Okay, so like... Grander story around Mortal Kombat. In the beginning, there was the one being. And then the elder gods... The one being created the elder gods. The elder gods were like, oh, this thing's like consuming the universe. And they broke it up into lots of different... into different pieces that formed the 9 realms. And... Shao Kahn is being manipulated by whispers of the one being who's trying to become whole again, and it's causing villains in the Mortal Kombat series to go mad. So Shao Kahn, Onaga, Shinnok, you don't know about Onaga yet, but hopefully he'll be in the next game, Mortal Kombat 12 coming soon, hopefully. Shao Kahn's being manipulated by misunderstanding thought that he has about, oh, I need to merge the realms. Doesn't even have a good reason for doing it. He doesn't even know why he's doing it. How sick is that? And he's just on the warpath. He's got his massive hammer. He's a sorcerer. He takes people's souls. But ultimately, what makes him a great villain is he's just ruthless. Like any time you see him, he's just gonna fuck someone up. Or he's angry about something. And he's fucking jacked. They say he's like half a dragon in it. Or like something like that. And he, like Goro, look at Goro, he's got 4 arms, he's massive, he's been the reigning champion of Mortal Kombat for 500 years. Like, he's scared of Shao Kahn. Shinnok, sorry, not Shinnok, Shang Tsung, another Mortal Kombat tournament, you know, champion, scared of Shao Kahn. A lot of these people, and are like, they're like, oh shit, Shao Kahn. And Raiden is like, yeah, go on, tell Shao Kahn, I'll beat him. And one time, like, in the movie, the video game, Raiden's like, I'll strip the flesh from your bones, and he's pissed off with Shao Kahn in it. He's the only one who'll stand up to him.
Yeah,
you know why?
Yeah. No.
Because Raiden understands what his weakness is. Raiden has a lot of strength because he's fighting for something, right? Shao Kahn doesn't know what he's fighting for. And that's why I always see Raiden standing up to him, even though he knows Shao Kahn could fuck him up. He still stands up to him every time because he knows he's on his own.
Yeah.
None of these lot really want to fight with him. He's just on his own. That's a very big lesson around Mortal Kombat. And okay, one more. Quan Chi. He's a trickster, kind of like Loki, which we'll come on to in a minute.
Ooh, yeah.
Nice little segue.
Yeah, nice.
Tricksters, in my opinion, they're not the most physically gifted, right? Quan Chi is a sorcerer. And he's like, you know, manipulating the dead. He made the Sub-Zero that died. He brought him back to life. They're constantly having to manipulate people to be able to further their agenda. And it's funny because like the Quan Chi is a villain I love to hate because he's a skinny little prick. That's it. I don't have any ratings for him. I don't think he's some grandiose villain. Shao Kahn, yeah, you know, it's easy to love. Him, I don't like him. I love when he gets beaten up. I'm like, yeah, beat him. And with Quan Chi, he's all about manipulation. And you see this with people in our lives. Like, people will just try and manipulate people for their gain because they're choosing to remain in that weakness and not strengthen themselves.
Yeah, I hear that. Yeah, that's a big one. Yeah, and it's like, yeah, the going on to Loki, Wait, we need to review the series. I know you haven't seen it all, have you?
I think I got to like episode 5, 6.
Do you know what? We could, like, in all reality, we could just review the last episode. Like, forget the whole series.
Right.
Like, if you get to the last episode, like, I swear to God, we could do a whole recording just on the last episode. It's insane. Anyway, that aside. Yeah, Loki's a great one because he comes to Earth, right? And he's like, right, I'm taking over. But he's just one of those characters that you just love him because he's got that, like, kind of humor. He's got that mischievous side. But when you look into his story, like, why is he doing everything that he's doing, right? He's an ice giant? He's an ice giant, part god or whatever. I don't know what they are. But he's been raised by Odin and Thor's his brother, and he's been raised like as a prince essentially. But he knows fair well he's never going to get the throne because it's always going to be Thor, right? And Thor's always been like the good looking blonde hair, mighty Thor and all this stuff, and he's like honorable and all that, and he's always bettering Loki. So Loki's whole story is, I'm doing everything that I'm doing because I want to prove that I have worth. I want to prove, and it's massive daddy issues, but I want to prove that I have worth. And his way of doing it is like, well, I've got all of these powers and I can do all of these things. Why don't I use them? And he thinks he's he thinks he's smarter than what he is. He's always trying to like outdo people, and like he's always like trying to manipulate people, even though like he's the one probably getting manipulated in the end by Thanos, as it turns out. But I just love that because there's like how many people are there? How many times have I in my life tried to do something because I'm trying to prove something to myself about my worth or to other people, and look how it ends up. It's like it doesn't become a pretty situation. He ends up bringing a bunch of aliens to Earth to try and like take over, and it's like, for what? So your dad can go, well done, son, or like, do you know what I mean? It's like it's a huge misunderstanding in like where your worth is coming from. And that's what I love about him, man, because he's a huge representation of that.
That's a great way to look at it, because I think that's where the source of a lot of our anguish and pain comes from. It's a big misunderstanding about, again, like the when, right? When my dad tells me, good job, son, then I'll feel like this void that I've got inside me will be full.
Yeah.
It's bullshit. I met this guy, shout out Zufan. I was walking down the street with Caroline. Shout out to you, Caroline. And I was wearing a Akatsuki robe.
Oh yeah.
And he's like, oh, Akatsuki. I was like, yeah, man, what's up? So he started talking, we were walking together, and he was doing this hippie trail, like traveling from America to Asia. And I go, why are you doing it? He goes, I'm trying to find myself. I was like, you ain't finding it out there, bro. Yeah, there's nothing out there that can help you find you. You're not, the you that you're trying to find doesn't even exist. If you want to have one, create it. And that all comes from here too. Yeah. And I think that this is the funny thing with like, when I get here, I'll feel this, or when I have that, then this. Is like all of those whens are like the biggest weaknesses that get exploited. Yeah. Maybe not by other people directly, but like we can be used for a bunch of things if we've got those whens.
Yeah. It reminds me of what you just said. That guy, what was his name? Zufan. Like we're not picking on him, but it reminds me of that the Sid Banks quote. You know, the one, most people go up a mountain and they want to live up the top of the mountain for 6 months to try and find themselves and find peace. And he's basically pointing at like, you don't have to do that, because the peace that you experience at the top of the mountain is the peace that's always present inside of you. And it's like, if by recognizing that, like, not if, but by recognizing that, how, like, that's going to change a lot. Look at Loki. If Loki knew he didn't have to do all of this stuff to, like, determine his worth, different story. If, I don't know, I'm trying to think who else we've spoken about today, like, Thanos, like, you can name any of them, like, you know, be very different. But then we wouldn't have cool villains to talk about. So
forget that part of it. But yeah, like I wanted to do this series on if I was the Joker's life coach, or if I was Kintaro's life coach, or whatever. Yeah, and then fucking Jay Shetty went and did it, so I stopped doing it. That was a side point. Anyway, Vegeta. Oof. Considering my sock game. Look at that. You like that?
Yeah. But I would
Not really a villain. He's just an
well,
anti-hero.
no, he is to start with.
To
he
start
is.
with, yeah.
Yeah, and then as the story develops, he becomes a bit more of an anti-hero. But again, his whole thing is the same thing. No, it's not actually. No.
Similar, but not the same.
Let me pull that back in because it's very different, right? What I love about Vegeta, look at what he's standing for. I'm upholding our what would you call it? Our
the bloodline.
The bloodline, the way we live.
Oh, traditions.
The traditions, that's the word I was looking for. The Saiyan traditions. I'm upholding it, and I'm gonna embody it, and I'm committing to it, and I'm being, the embodiment of those traditions. Whether you agree with it or not, I'm doing it, right? It's like a lot of people won't agree with certain religions or certain political views or certain, I don't know, whatever else there is in the world to have some strong opinions about. But committing to it, and that's like Vegeta. He's very like, this is what I'm standing for. I'm standing for this thing, Cosa Nostra, our thing. And it's like
I'm
that.
Stretching my leg.
That's. I thought you were trying to show your sock off to the camera.
Oh, I've already done that a bunch of times. My leg's fucked.
But that's something that I love about him. Look at his commitment to stand and live into the traditions that he wants to live his life by. Whether you agree with it or not, it's the same as my man from Naruto, Hidan.
No, Hidan.
Yeah, Hidan. He's
Yeah.
he's a dick.
Hey.
No, but it's the same thing, innit? You're invincible. You can't die. So he's gonna go around and kill everyone else because he's so committed to the tradition and
the way of Jashin.
Yeah, the way of Jashin. Like, and he's like, it's a privilege for anyone to witness this, whole thing, and it's kind of similar with Vegeta for me. He's got a point to prove, yes. However, look at the way that he's committing to what he's standing for. Whether you agree with it or not, his commitment to it is very high.
I like Vegeta for the yes, he starts off as a villain, and he's got this thirst for power, and I think it says a lot about me when I was younger. Like, I wanted to be like similar to, I wanted to be big and strong. I wanted to be jacked. Now I like the shape that I'm in. It's cool, but it was never enough. I went from 65 to 85 kg in 3 months.
Ooh.
Yeah.
When?
2015. Yeah, before all of this.
Wow. How much do you weigh now?
65, 67.
So you had another 20 kilos of what? Muscle?
No.
Fat?
Mixture.
A mixture of the two.
Bro,
what was the percentage?
I'd say a good 70% fat. A good 70. Yeah, I'm trying to be fucking generous here.
So you did a really good job of it then.
One time I was doing push-ups with one of my friends, and someone was taking a video of us, and they were like, "You look like 3 times the size of him," and he was lifting 4 or 5 times what I was lifting.
Jesus.
And my friend goes to me, "You can be big and not strong. Just remember that." Yeah.
Jeez.
The same with Vegeta though. Like, he can have all of the Super Saiyan 1, 2, whatever. Like, you can have all of that. It doesn't mean you're gonna be strong. And I really think Vegeta is a great villain for the change of heart that he has, but he's still reluctant. So he's got a change of heart because he's only looking in one direction, which is who's the strongest, how can I get stronger? And it ends up, for me, what happens is like, he sees the difference between the strength that comes with I've got to be the best and the strength that comes with love. And then you can't really have love just like singularly. It is with everyone.
That's true.
Like, you can have a certain amount of love with you. Oh yeah, I'm trying to get stronger, but for what? Goku's trying to get stronger to save the whole world. And when Vegeta has that change of heart, it's not really a change of heart. It's more like this side seems to be doing better, like getting stronger than this side, so fuck it, I'll just jump on that.
Yeah, and no, I think, because he does end up like caring, even though he doesn't really show it. He does end up caring about like certain people, and like, because is it in the Boo saga where he grabs onto Boo and he blows himself up to like, he gives his life basically to save the life of all of those people that he loves. So there is that as well.
Yeah, the big change of heart, man. I like that, and then it shows us. He look how big his fucking ego is, and he's still able to have a change of heart.
Should we go for one more?
I've got a bunch more.
Yeah, we're going to do a part 2.
Yeah,
then.
We'll probably do a part 2 of this. And I don't know if I'll have the same beard next time. I might just have one big spike.
We'll go for. I know you love this one. Piccolo.
He's all right as a villain. You go with Piccolo. I'll go do one more.
No, when did you love the whole redemption arc though.
All right, fine. Piccolo is a great villain for the fact that he comes to Earth wanting to destroy it, but then he has like a massive redemption arc, and that's my story. Like I wanted to fuck shit up big time, like set fire to people and laugh at them while they're burning and piss on them and shit. Okay, it's getting a bit violent, but like I wanted to really hurt people in it for a long time. And when I started watching Dragon Ball Z again, I was like, look at that. Like Piccolo's able to have such a massive change of heart from being a demon to now being on Goku's team. And he's still got that rivalry with Goku, but he's using it in a way to like better himself and the planet rather than like selfish intentions.
Yeah.
So I do love that about him, but he himself isn't really like an all big boss bad man villain.
I just wanted to throw that one in because I know it's a nice little tale from me.
Who's
the last one?
Orochimaru from Naruto.
Jeepers.
Okay, one of my favorite villains ever. Do you know why? He's like the boogeyman.
Yeah.
You can't get rid of him.
Yeah.
He's just fucking on you, innit? Like they put a curse mark on you and then just use and manipulate you from behind the scenes. And do you know what I love the most about him? Yeah, this is like, it's relatable to a lot of things for me, but the main one is like his thirst for knowledge. So there's a lot of forbidden jutsu out there, and he's like, nah, fuck that. I'm gonna go and do research. I'm gonna find out why this stuff's forbidden and how I can perfect it. He's the one who came up with the reanimation jutsu, but perfected it.
Yeah.
He's the one who got the cells of the first Hokage and put them into Yamato. He did it with loads of kids. Yeah, he killed loads of people for the progression of science. How many times you see people doing that in the real world? They're not called villains. Bill Gates Foundation. Maybe Orochimaru is based on Bill Gates. I don't know, innit? Sorry, Bill Gates. If you're gonna come for me, hey, look, listen.
Yeah, don't sue us, all right?
No, don't sue me and don't suicide me. I would never kill myself. I'll put it live on air. Yeah? If I get killed and it make it look like I killed myself, I never did it. So just so we're clear on that, yeah. Orochimaru is a great villain because of this other reason, right? He is in the team, the legendary Sanin, Three Ninja, right? Jiraiya, Tsunade, Orochimaru. Jiraiya is a classic good guy. Tsunade is like, I'm just in this team and yeah, it's all good, but I've got my gambling problem and whatever. Yeah. And she kind of like, she's not into Orochimaru like romantically, but she's also not into him. Yeah. She's like, there's like the kind of bad boy thing going on, right? Orochimaru is quick to make decisions to kill people, especially when they're at war, right? And Orochimaru's animal that he bonds with is the snake, Lord Munda. He goes to the Snake Sage Mountain and blah blah. He is a good representation of how like light and dark can blend together. Because he's not traditionally, he's like an anti-hero at that point when he's fighting with the Sanin, right? And then as he breaks away, he goes down more of a villain path. But like light and dark can play together, like good cop, bad cop. Like it's a great way to highlight the point of like, just because someone's got a bit of darkness doesn't mean that they won't play well on a team. And if you neglect them and you push them away, they'll go and make their own team, which will most likely be the dark team. Most likely be bad. Yeah.
I think he's a great villain though. I think he's one of those where like...
And his theme tune.
Yeah, where you love to hate him. I was pissed when he died. And even I said it to you, innit? I was like, I don't think he's dead, innit? It's like, they can't just write him off like that. He's going to be coming back. And I think, what I think I like about him, from what I've seen so far, obviously I haven't completed the series yet, but what I like about him is he's very much like, let me sit back and assess the situation whilst having a plan, but also I'm going to see how the situation plays out and I might come up with another plan. And it's like, I think there's something in that of like, I use the saying like, read the game. That's what I feel like he's very good at, like reading the game, innit? Like the point I'm up to at the minute, he's like taking a bit of a backseat and he's reading the game. Obviously, I'm sensing he's going to get up to something after, but we don't know. I don't know, you do. But I love that though, because he's not going straight in like, oh yeah, all of this stuff's kicking off. Wicked, I'm going to get straight involved. He's like, hold on, I've been dead for a little bit. Let me sit back. Let me read the game. Let me see what's going on. And I think there's a lot of value in that, just, you know, in life in general. Imagine like if we weren't, it's like the zoomed out thing, innit? It's like get perspective first and then make a clear decision or choice. Whereas most of the time we're so zoomed in that we're not even thinking big picture. Whereas Orochimaru is like a big picture guy, innit? And this is what I was trying to get at with the Joker, actually. He's a big picture guy. As loony as he is, he's a big picture guy. He's like, I'm thinking so far ahead because I'm seeing the big picture. I'm zooming out for perspective. And that's what I think Orochimaru really represents for me, is like just being that person who's like, hold on, what's actually going on here? Let me take a look. Let me assess the situation, and then I'm gonna come in and I'm gonna do my thing. And I think that there's a lot in that I really like.
Deidara, art is an explosion. I love that. Sasori, it's all about like puppetry. I mean, there's metaphors for days in there. Kisame Hoshigaki, he gets betrayed by his own blade. I love that as a story. I just love that as a story. It's sick. Itachi's kind of like an anti-hero villain type thing.
Kimimaro,
oh man.
Right, man,
He's got such a sick Keke Genkai, it's unbelievable.
We need to save all these.
Who else have we got in the Akatsuki? You got Toby, which is a different story. There's a bunch of things, but you know what, who we didn't talk about? Kabuto. From Naruto. We got a bunch more villains coming at you because we couldn't just cram it all in here. And unfortunately, we'll have to do a heroes one too.
Yeah, but I think we can. I think there's some sick ones we can get into real character like breakdowns of certain heroes, man. Because like you got Batman sat right behind you. That guy is a fucking psycho.
True.
He's a psycho.
Oh, Invincible, Omni-Man.
Stay tuned for part 2, people.
Oh shit! All right, yeah, it's time to wrap this up. It's been over an hour. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. We'd love to hear who are your favorite villains and why. What life lessons have you learned from this expert villainry that you've seen from them?
And who would you like to see us talk about in part 2 or 3 or 4 or maybe 5, depending when this is out and how many we've recorded between now and then. But still, whack it down there, innit?
Whack it down there. That's what she said.
That's a way to finish. That's what she...
All right, we'll see you in the next episode. Peace.